Hey guys, Byron here at Rams training camp. I've taken in a couple of practices here on your behalf, RosterWatch Nation, and this is what I've learned. I've learned that Tyler Higbee is going to be one of the players I'm most interested in from this roster on my fantasy team in the late rounds of your draft. He still may not have the enormous upside you'd love to see, but he's clearly going to be one of Matthew Stafford's favorite targets. And while his snap counts have always been pretty good, we do expect his target volume to increase this year after the departure of Gerald Everett. There's just simply nobody else on this depth chart that's prepared to really contribute at the tight end position. And it's been clear that Higbee's run way out in front with the ones. And most importantly, he's soaking up a lot of targets from Matthew Stafford and 11 on 11s. Really like to see that. He's caught almost everything that came his way. I think it was one drop for Tyler Higbee in the last two practices. And then as far as Darrell Henderson, that's the other player folks want to know about. It reminds me a lot of the Ronald Jones situation last year in Tampa Bay, where you go into the season saying, like, this guy is clearly the lead running back. He's in line for a whole bunch of volume, but the player leaves a little bit something to desired, and you know that circumstantially there's no way the Rams are going to make it through this season with a depth chart this thin. So, you know, the way I look at it is Darrell Henderson, if nothing changes, he could easily be an RB1 at the beginning of the season just based on volume and the opportunity. I think if we're conservative, we'd say, you know, just based on the player himself, you know, let's call him an RB2. But if there's a situation where they end up bringing in a veteran or somebody who gets cut, that's, you know, it could be a situation where that role devolves a little bit over the course of the season. Now, I don't think they're going to have access to a player like Leonard Fournette like the Bucs did last year, so it is good news. And it is also good news that Darrell Henderson is really showing off his three-down capability, his ability to catch the football out here for fantasy. That's really important. He's going to be on the field because he can catch those footballs, but he's also going to produce more in fantasy because of that receiving ability. Did see one fumble today, so ball security, an issue. That cannot happen. It looked like he lost a few reps today after that. And then, you know, also part of the issue with Henderson coming out of Memphis is we never thought he was very good at shedding first contact. And today down in red zone, you could tell he struggled a little bit when he got up against those big bodies in kind of a more compressed space. So not a perfect prospect, but a pretty damn good situation to begin with. And, you know, we'll just have to monitor how it goes. I think we stay cautious about it. But the truth is, Darrell Henderson's going to come out of the gate with 15, I'd say maybe 18 touches a game. I wouldn't be surprised if there's some games early on where he has 20 touches. And on this team, that's going to make a pretty solid fantasy player. You know, I've seen James Robinson. I've seen Austin Eckler at camp. And, you know, right now I'd have to say Darrell Henderson he may be taking more of a lion's share of reps with the ones than either of those players are with either of those teams. Now, I get it. He's less of a proven player, and we have more questions kind of long-term about him and his situation. But as of now, he looks good for fantasy. As far as the Rams wide receivers, it's a really great set of wide receivers. It's just going to be so hard to pinpoint who the guy is going to be every week. I mean, Cooper Kupp, I think, at value is a better option than Robert Woods. He's really been the focus of a lot of targets for Matt Stafford, and has looked, you know, quite good out here. That said, he doesn't have Jalen Ramsey draped all over him like, you know, Robert Woods does often throughout the course of practice. And then if you could take yesterday's intel as meaningful, Van Jefferson looks to have slid in as the pretty clear wide receiver 3 on this team. He was not out at practice today, and that allowed Deshaun Jackson to spend a little bit more time in that role. But when Jefferson was out here, he looked like the clear 3, and Deshaun Jackson looked like the clear 4. And I guess, long story short, if you really think about it, what that means is Matt Stafford has a great set of weapons. So I leave Los Angeles Rams camp thinking that on the ultimate draft cheat sheet at RosterWatch.com, we're going to have to pay close attention to guys like Matt Stafford and Tyler Higbee late in our drafts. Until next time, RosterWatch Nation, be good.